of this press conference was Chimaev and Strickland talking trash to each other non-stop. I don't think either one of them finished a sentence for this entire press conference, okay? It was non-stop trash talk.
That was quite something that we just saw over there in New Jersey before UFC 328 gets underway this weekend.
Quite something is a good way to put it, Dennis. I don't know what that something was, but it sure was something.
Never gonna beat me, never.
Yeah, motherfucker. I beat you in the gym, I'll beat you here. I'll beat you on the stage in front of everybody, you motherfucker.
All day, every day.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, little Chechen whore. We gotta start calling the
I'm
the
daddy.
dog.
I make it cry again.
Yeah,
I
okay.
Be your daddy in the cage.
Okay.
I've been all day, every day, your daddy. You know about it.
Relax, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what fucking
You're
horse
rat.
it came from, but go back to her.
Like, I wouldn't do it, you know, even if there was a big beef or any shit like that, because, like, they're gonna fight on Saturday, you know? Like, maybe this kid could, like, hurt Sean's knee, and then the fight dissolve, you know? Like, it's not something that he wanted.
I didn't stop him like this. Yeah, asking about something like that. I saw it, bro. But here, I just tried to stop him.
Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland just hyped up UFC 328 as they just went crazy at the pre-fight press conference.
I am terrorist for him. I am. I'm gonna take off his head. I'm gonna kill him. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
MMA Guru called the Chimaev versus Strickland face-off an instant chaos, saying it turned into cinema as both fighters jumped up and traded insults immediately. He also predicted huge online hype and major pay-per-view interest.
Khamzat Chimaev was stood up immediately, yelling over at Strickland, "What now? What you got to say now?" And then Strickland's immediately, "Oh, it's on." And he stands up. We didn't even get Strickland saying, "Here's a fucking thing, you guys." He had no time for a "here's the thing, you guys." Okay? Immediately he's up. "Shut the fuck up, you fucking Chechen whore. Go back to your fucking country." Immediately. And I knew we had cinema on our hands. Okay? As soon as Strickland dropped one of them, I was like, well, this is going all over Twitter, boys. We're going to be seeing this on Twitter for the next few days. This might be the highest selling pay-per-view card in a very long time, outside of any McGregor fight, because as we can see here, the most live viewers for a UFC press conference since McGregor-Poirier 3, which had 360,000 tuning in live, and then Khabib versus McGregor had 505,000. The fact that this is even in range.
Caio Borralho reacts to Khamzat Chimaev's kick on Sean Strickland, calling it funny and unexpected but risky, so close to fight night. He says it could have gone wrong and even jeopardized the bout if Strickland had been injured.
Press conference today, UFC 328.
Yeah, in my way coming here to the Octagon studio, I was watching on my phone. It was funny, crazy, as I expected.
But what did you think afterwards when Khamzat and Sean were facing off and it looked like...
Yeah, the kick was bad. Like, I wouldn't do it, you know, even if there was a big beef or any shit like that, because, like, they're gonna fight on Saturday, you know? Like, maybe this kick could, like, hurt Sean's knee, and then the fight dissolve, you know? Like, it's not something that he wanted. So I think he just got in his head so much that he did this kick, but it is what it is. That's a fight business, you know? I wouldn't do it, but I'm not on this guy's body, you know?
Caio Borralho said he was surprised by the trash talk and added both Chimaev and Sean Strickland seem mentally affected by each other, calling the rivalry very personal.
But were you surprised that Khamzat actually threw a kick?
Kind of, because I thought he would be a little bit more just talking, because he was supposed to be just talking over there. It was a press. They're already going to fight on Saturday, you know, so don't need to do that. But we all know Khamzat how he is, you know, and yeah.
Well, do you think when you mentioned like getting into his head, do you think Sean is in Khamzat's head or
Maybe
vice
both.
versa?
I think both. Yeah, I think it's very personal, this fight, you know. The guy really hates each other, you know. They have previous history with them too, training together, and one tapping another, something like that. And yeah, but you know, I think both in their heads. It's gonna be a great fight on Saturday. I'll be there first row, watching, enjoying.
You're gonna be case-side. So do we have like a final prediction from you for that fight?
It's hard for me. I think Khamzat is the favorite for sure.
Khamzat Chimaev explained why he went hard against Sean Strickland at the press conference. He believed Strickland would eventually cross personal lines involving his family. He said if someone comes at him that way, he feels obligated to respond just as aggressively.
If I didn't stop him like this. Yeah, han skulle bara inte vara där. Jag sa det var bra. Var helt fantastiskt. I just tried to stop him. Det var det vi sa, det var perfekt. Det var exakt vad det skulle göra. Avbryta han. Yeah, if I let him do it, you're gonna speak about my mom and dad. Exakt. I don't like it. If somebody tries to do that, it has to get back. Of course. Observe home cricket. I was thinking like after this, coach Carl maybe not let me come back to the garage. No, I don't let anybody speak about my mama that way. Yeah, that's fine. My dad that way, my family. I hope he's okay. He was like, yeah, he's okay. Like this, coach. I was like this, coach. No, he was having fun.
Dana White ranked the Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland rivalry as the second most heated in UFC history, behind Khabib versus Conor. He said it stands among the top 5 most intense UFC rivalries ever due to the real hatred between the fighters.
Khamzat versus Strickland, bad blood. I mean, if you talk about, you know, top 5 UFC fights of all time where the guys have, there's serious hatred between them, I'd put this at number 2, behind Conor and Khabib. Yeah, you know, and the only reason I'd take Conor and Khabib over it was what happened over in Brooklyn, that, you know, leading up to that fight. But and it should be a good one, man. Two of the best guys in the world don't like each other, and should be a great night.
Joe Rogan described the fight as heavy emotional warfare, noting that Sean Strickland has made extreme comments while Khamzat Chimaev appears unfazed. He suggested Chimaev isn't emotionally reacting and seems calm, implying Strickland's talk may not match what he can handle in the cage.
About Khamzat, he would say he'd shoot him, he calls him a goat. I mean, but it's interesting to me that it doesn't seem like Khamzat is biting on any of it. He's like, this guy, he said this thing, but he doesn't believe it. Yeah. And you're like, whoa. Like, he doesn't seem upset about it. It doesn't seem like it's under his skin. He's like, this guy, he says he wants war, but I don't think he wants war, or he'd be dead. That's it.
That's how it should be. I mean, Strickland would be the same. I don't think you could say anything to Strickland that would offend him. He'll laugh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll laugh. Like,
Joe Rogan called Sean Strickland a tough target to land clean shots on, citing his awkward footwork, steady jab, and unpredictable striking.
He's so hard to hit, man. He's got a weird style. It's very weird. Right. It fucks you up, and he's really good at moving back away from shots and countering.
He's circling out while the hands are in your face, too.
It's weird. He also throws, like, looping shots on purpose sometimes. Like, you would think it's bad technique, but he's, like, finding a way around your guard. Yeah, and he's catching you with weird stuff. And his jab is on point. That fluffy fight.
Were you at the? Was you calling that one?
No,
I was there for that, and you could hear it. Like, you don't always hear that.
Yeah, he was
you could hear the thud in his jab when Fluffy was blocking him, and it was hard.
Yeah, he
was
mixing
heavy.
his kicks in there well. He's gonna have to watch that.
And he wasn't getting hit, man. The thing about him, if you watch him when he's on point, he's so fucking hard to hit. He just fucked up with Alex. You just can't make any mistakes with Alex.
It seems like everybody fucks up with Alex.
Yeah, he's the freak.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen argued that Khamzat Chimaev's tendency to slow down in fights isn't a flaw, but a result of his all-out fighting style. He said Khamzat Chimaev pushes himself to exhaustion against elite opponents, and that level of output reflects a fighter giving maximum effort rather than a weakness.
Can he win?
Definitely. Can Sean Strickland beat him? Definitely. Sean Strickland... And let me tell you this. Let me start with Chimaev. But there is a misconception on Chimaev, which is that he gets tired in fights. If I'm an athlete and I don't get tired in a fight, I failed everybody. I failed the ticket buyer. My own coach, Clayton Hires, would be furious if he saw me in a fight where I didn't get exhausted. Why would I be saving energy? Whether it was a 1-round fight or 100 rounds, I had better use all the energy that I have. And we'd seen Chimaev do that. We saw Chimaev go out there with guys like Kamaru Usman, need everything that he had. Guys like Gilbert Burns, needs everything that he had. And when the fight was over, he had no more energy. That's what he should have done. That's what his job is to do. And the opponent should have had the courage to have done the same.
Chael Sonnen downplayed concerns about Khamzat Chimaev's cardio, saying fatigue comes with fighting at full intensity and doesn't define a champion. He added that against Sean Strickland, long stretches of takedown control would be difficult, meaning Chimaev may need to adjust his approach to secure a win.
So I will not concede to the idea that Chimaev can't go championship rounds. When a guy gets tired, if he wilts, that's one thing. But if a guy gets tired and he pushes on through the exhaustion, that's what makes champions. So first off, I just don't think that that narrative is true. But secondly, with Strickland, how are you going to beat him? You're not going to take him down. And if you do, you're not going to keep him there. If you do take him down and you do keep him there, every 5 minutes, they're going to blow a whistle and make you reset. And I don't think that Strickland can get tackled for 25 straight minutes and held there. So Chimaev, can he beat Strickland? Yeah, sure. But he's going to have to find a way to do it. And it's not going to be what he did with Dricus. It's not going to be dominating ground and pound.
Tom Aspinall also expressed excitement for the matchup, praising Sean Strickland's toughness and experience, but still backing Khamzat Chimaev to win. He suggested Strickland could remain competitive if he keeps recovering from takedowns, but expects Chimaev's pressure to slow him down and lead to a decision victory.
Champion himself. He's always been around the top of the division. Not scared of anybody at all. I think that he could use his unorthodox striking, and hopefully he's definitely going to come in really fit. So he just needs to keep getting up, keep not showing Khamzat that he can hold him on the floor. I think it all comes down to the first couple of grappling exchanges. If Strickland can keep getting up, I think maybe we'll start to see Khamzat slow down a little bit, because we've seen that in other fights before. Strickland can win by jabbing him and putting him on the end of the awkward shots and tiring him out and putting him on the back foot.
I've got a feeling on your verdict. Shall we get into it?
The verdict is, for me, Khamzat by decision, I think.
Same as DDP,
Similar.
Too strong on the
I think
ground.
it'll be a little bit more competitive than the DDP fight, but I think that Khamzat by decision.
Sharing his thoughts, Colby Covington dismissed Sean Strickland's chances against Khamzat Chimaev, saying the grappling gap is significant at elite level. He expected Chimaev to prioritize takedowns and control rather than striking.
Are you giving him a chance here against Khamzat? Like, we saw some pretty good wrestling takedown defense against Hernandez.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. You know, Hernandez and Khamzat are completely different levels of grapplers and the way they approach their strategy. So I think Khamzat's going to take him down and submit him. You know, obviously, you know, Schmo went and watched them spar back at Extreme Couture a couple years ago, and he pretty much said like it wasn't competitive. Khamzat was just taking him down and submitting him. So I expect that same game plan. He's not going to be stupid and strike with Sean, you know, and make it a kickboxing fight. He's just going to make it straight grappling, and you know, I think he's going to put Strickland in some really bad positions and either submit him or just hold him out for 25 minutes.
O'Neal Darius sees Khamzat Chimaev as most dangerous early, especially in the opening rounds with his fast start and pressure. He added that if Sean Strickland survives that storm and adjusts, the fight could shift in his favor down the stretch.
I just got to know, man, from your breakdown in your mind, how do you feel like that fight's going to go?
I think Khamzat is a very tall task, very difficult to deal with. I think we're looking at like round 1, round 2, Khamzat being very dominant. But I also think there's a world where, you know, all of a sudden things don't go so well because, man, Sean can wrestle. And all of a sudden, round 2, Sean's defending. Round 3, round 2, round 3, Sean starts to defend, kind of finds his place, and he starts to take over the rounds. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. But I would definitely lean towards Khamzat in the first couple of rounds, and then maybe Sean's able to make a comeback.
Meanwhile, Arman Sarukian backed Khamzat Chimaev for the matchup, but warned that Sean Strickland still brings real danger. He described Strickland as tough and well-rounded, adding that the fight outcome remains uncertain.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. You never know. Even Khamzat, my friend, is my brother, but you never know. It's a fight, and second, Strickland is a tough fighter. So he has a lot a lot of good things.
Arman Zarukian said Khamzat Chimaev is in strong shape and making progress with his weight cut, noting he is dropping around 21 kilograms ahead of the fight.
Как ты оценишь сейчас, в данный момент, подготовку Кhamzata?
Он в очень хорошей форме, вес очень хорошо тоже идет. Да, конечно, завтра будет нелегко, тем более весогонка, он очень много веса гоняет. Никому не легко, даже если ты гоняешь 3 килограмма, а Khamzat гоняет почти, в этот раз он 21 килограмм, он гоняет в этот раз. 21 килограмм это большая.
Sean Strickland's coach, Eric Nixick, explained that handling Khamzat Chimaev requires discipline and patience, especially in the early moments when his pressure is at its peak. He pointed out that fighters need to stay composed under clinch pressure, avoid getting trapped against the cage, and force longer exchanges where patterns can be read and broken.
For someone like Khamzat potentially covering you guys for a whole round like that?
Yeah, it's a great question, bro. I really think you have to break it down systematically. You have to do things from the feet. You have to do things in a certain way to try to negate the fit in, and not to get too much into the game plan, but just you can't dig for underhooks immediately. You have to work off of frames. If you get an underhook, that a lot of times what happens is there's going to be an over-under. So that means you're attached, right? So how do you break attachments? And then on the ground, what routes does Khamzat favor on the grounds? What are some of our counters to that? So, we definitely got our work cut out for us. But I think if you just focus on the ground element alone, somehow, some way, you almost subliminally put your fighter there, and that's the expectations of their fight.
Eric Nixick broke down Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling as a calculated system built around dominance on top and relentless pressure instead of chasing fast finishes. He emphasized that the real problem for opponents is constantly escaping and preventing Chimaev from settling into control.
Like, he's not really the kind of guy that's going for a submission straight away. He's looking to wear you out and just kind of stay on top, especially early in the fight.
He's very good at his routes, and we call them pit stops. Like he's gonna stay in half guard until that position expires itself. He's not gonna rush from position to position to try to. He's not gonna gain points. This is in a jiu-jitsu match. It's like, oh, if I'm in side control, I get 2 points. If I'm here, I get 4. If I take this, it's not like that. So for him, it's more about advantageous positions for ground and pound, and then forcing you to your next position. And then he knows prior what your options are, So it's like, hey, if I have him in this split and pin, I know he could only go belly down, so I'm going to be ahead of his next route. So he's very systematic with his grappling, and I think that's the kind of the puzzle piece that we have to solve is how do you make him restart that process over and over again.
Analyzing the matchup, Luke Rockhold questioned Sean Strickland while backing Khamzat Chimaev for the matchup, expressing strong confidence in Chimaev as the superior pick and raising doubts about Strickland overall.
Sean is he's effective, and he's scrappy, and he hangs in there. He's so much more talented. It's about who can relax and implement their game plan the best, and Khamzat's doing everything he needs to, and I think he can really have a masterclass. I think last time out there's a little bit of tension. You wanted to win the world title. Now he can go out there and be his best, and I expect the best from Khamzat, and I would love to see him put this American away. I mean, I'm American, but I like good people. Khamzat is a great person through and through. Sean Strickland is a piece of shit.
Luke Rockhold shifted into breaking down the matchup, saying Khamzat Chimaev could perform better if he fights more freely and settles into his rhythm early. He noted that Chimaev is most dangerous once he gets comfortable, but added that early resistance from Sean Strickland could force him to stay more patient and measured.
I mean, he's special. He hits very hard. He's so unique and obviously in his realm, so he's gonna stick to what he does best. But if he can relax, and I think last time out there's a lot of pressure on him to win. So I think this time you'll see a lot more free Khamzat, and hopefully we can, he gets those takedowns, and if he loses a few takedowns, he can show his stand up, because he's very dangerous on the feet. It's just a matter of putting it all together and relaxing to the process. I think that's the biggest key. If he loses some takedowns, I mean, loses Sean to get up from some takedowns, and he's got to relax. If he relaxes amongst that process, he's going to get no more takedowns, and he's going to be effective on the feet. You know, he just can't rush it.
Brendan Allen highlighted the way Khamzat Chimaev carries responsibility outside the cage, noting his role in supporting those around him. He described Chimaev as someone with strong character off camera.
It's very special, I guess you'd say, to be around someone like that, to have that energy around you. And he's also a good person, man. He does a lot of good things for people, those around him, back at home. I know he has a lot of pressure on him, you know. There's a lot of people that depend on him, that put a lot into him as well, you know. So how he handles all that is very impressive. Very impressive.
Brendan Allen shared that Khamzat Chimaev's team keeps Fight Week highly controlled to eliminate distractions and reduce any unnecessary risks. He said the coaches enforce strict discipline around Chimaev so he can stay fully locked in on preparation.
The Khamzat's team, him nor anyone on it, that is called, like, is part of his entourage, as anyone would call it, is going to do anything to jeopardize that opportunity. I promise you that nobody is going to do anything to jeopardize it. Now, if someone tries to approach them and put hands on them, hey, they're not responsible for that, you know what I mean? But as far as them initiating and starting a problem, I highly doubt that happens. I highly doubt that. There'll be a lot of repercussions for anyone who does that outside of UFC or anything like that. So again, I highly doubt you see anything come from anything on their side. Everyone knows what's at stake. And like the coaches said, if you care about Khamzat, you won't do anything Fight Week. You'll let everything be and let Khamzat handle the job, how he's going to handle it come fight night.
That's great messaging for sure.
Henry Cejudo also broke down the Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland matchup, calling it a major test. He noted Strickland could have a path to victory if he shuts down the takedowns, but stressed that the real question is handling Chimaev's early pressure.
Huge fight coming up, Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. Who do you favor?
You know what? It's hard for you to not. I've counted out Khamzat a lot. If Sean Strickland, the American badass, could defend his takedown, I think it's Sean Strickland. But that's the key, is could he get up? And I feel like, man, it's not that I don't know. I just don't like betting on shit that I just don't know. And it doesn't come down to Khamzat. It comes down to Sean. You know what I'm saying? Because then Sean has to make those adjustments. Khamzat's gonna boom, in the first 10 seconds of the fight. And if he gets that going and Sean has no answer, it's going to be the same thing as...
So, that's everything from today's video, and the press conference already showed just how heated this rivalry has become. Share your thoughts on this intense face-off in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe for more updates as this clash keeps building toward fight night.